Welcome to the forecast where we make picks and you make money. Tonight I have with me my boy Dave Habit from college and my boy from home, Zach Lubin. And we'll be broadcasting picks for FanDuel and DraftKings for UFC 251, Masvidal versus Usman. So let's start it up, boys. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you.
Good, you too. Where are you guys coming from? Where we at tonight?
I'm at home with the baby.
At home with the baby. Where are you at?
Yep, in Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah, we're down South Carolina, Seneca, South Carolina.
And great. And a little bit later, one of our other boys, Shelton Mack, will be joining us. He's doing a little late night work, but he'll join us later with a couple hot takes on this weekend event. So let's get right into it. COVID-19. What's the deal with sports? What are y'all thinking? They coming back? Should they not be coming back? Is UFC doing the right things by bringing them back, or what are we thinking?
I think we need spring football for one. It offers us a luxurious spring season, and I think UFC is doing a great thing right now. Travel's obviously a risk, but hey, we need it.
Yeah. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I guess I'll go with UFC first. I think it's cool what they're doing, and I mean, here's the thing: they're testing people and they're failing, and then they can't fight, or the coaches can't come, like we saw with Coach Brown, Masvidal's coach, and we saw that like Ronaldo Souza had to pull out of a fight. I think did Holloway's coach also get COVID?
I didn't see that. Did you see that, Zach?
So, no, but okay. Maybe it was a weight cutting thing. Maybe it was a.
Well, he's there. I don't know if you've seen
the issue with his weight.
I've seen that he's there.
Yeah.
He's in Abu Dhabi, so he's ready to roll allegedly.
Yeah. So just like I think that's proof though that the UFC is doing a good thing. Here's the deal: if you fail a test and they seem to be doing a good job testing. If you fail, then you can't participate. But it gives everybody else an opportunity to move along. And it's funny because Christina said to me like, "Aren't they losing money or something?" She said something like that, and I was like, well, they're not losing as much money. I don't know how much they're profiting. They might be losing money, but they're not losing as much as they would be if they weren't having any events. And the UFC is pretty unique where they can actually do this, where with other sports I think it's a little bit harder to get all the like, what if one football play, like first of all you have to test all the guys, and then what if one football player is failed, then the whole team could be compromised. So with other sports I think it's really hard. With UFC I think it's way more containable, and its structure just a lot different. I agree.
That makes a good point. MLB, football, NBA restart up, yay or nay?
Well, one thing that I think for sure is when they do restart, I think it needs to be in the it kind of stinks, but just doing it in the capacity like. Maybe no crowd. That makes sense to me. Limit people. I think the sports will come back, but I have no idea when. I'm at Michigan right now, and things are slowly like they had the guys come in yesterday today for testing for COVID, but even with that, it's going to just take some time, and this thing could come back again. I think sports do have a pretty good chance of coming back, but I think they should come back, with limitations like what they've been talking about.
No, I
think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it seems
I think from what I've saw, I think they're like you said with volume. You have two people one-on-one.
Yeah.
Pass or fail, and I think that's the best way that they're doing it because, like you said, if you fail. Like, Gilbert Burns, unfortunately, that's his title fight, but not this weekend, which is unfortunate, but that's the only way to do it.
That's the one thing I was going to say is with the other sports where it gets tricky is, let's say Patrick Mahomes has COVID. Well, okay, you could say, okay, we'll sit Patrick Mahomes, but now he's been involved with this whole team. The whole team could have it. So now what do? Cancel a game,
Well,
So,
yeah, it's going to get tricky here come the fall. America wants what Zach said. They want football, and it's going to be tricky. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it is what it is. We got a big event this weekend, UFC 251. First, I just want to know, with the limited sports, like, has the UFC been treating you guys how it's been treating me? I couldn't ask for more. Fights every week. Coming from the wrestling background, I could take fights every week, 3-6 all year. Fight one event a week. So what are you guys thinking about that?
Oh, it's amazing. I'll let you go first, Zach.
Fights every week's awesome. Like Christina said, I mean, aren't they losing money? Probably. The margin's probably a lot smaller, but I think if you're producing fights every week, there's got to be some type of income.
Yeah. On top of that, like, they can't be doing worse than they would be if they've just been shut down. And that's another thing where the UFC is different is, I mean, there's a lot of things, but it's like football's not in football season right now. The UFC is year round, and they go off of these events. So if they just shut the UFC down for a whole year, I mean, that's a huge loss to everybody, the whole organization, and to the fighters. With other sports, I mean, obviously baseball is taking a hit, and sports that are getting affected by this. But yeah, I've been enjoying the fights. I've been a lifelong fan of UFC. I have like these old UFC DVDs that are from UFC 1 and 2. So I've been a fan all along. So it hasn't changed for me. And since that's the only sport that's going on, this Saturday I know what I'm doing. So
Yeah,
I'm watching the fight.
Same.
Have to.
Yep.
So next, what about, like you said, someone said they might be losing money. Dave, did you say that?
Yeah, cool. Christina was asking me, that's exactly what she asked. She said, are they losing money by having these fights? And I'm not sure if they're losing money. They're not. Now there's two types of economics here. Yeah. I don't think that it costs more money than what they're making. But when you look at it, I'm forgetting the economic terms, but they're losing money in the sense of, if, let's say, Conor and Khabib fought tomorrow,
yeah,
they could be possibly losing millions of dollars, because if you had it when you could have a live gate, it would just blow through the roof. So they're losing all that money. But are they losing money in a sense of, $5 is more money than $0, So I don't think that their costs are going more than their profit.
So I got a question to challenge that then.
Okay.
If you two have seen the Fight Island, like, it looks like an absurd amount of money put into a couple events that they could have just had at the Vegas thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like security, flights, 5 tests in 1 week, an octagon on an island. I don't know. You rent out the island. Great idea, but I think he talked all that trash in the beginning about buying an island, and I think he felt that he had to stick with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think he just came up with that without realizing how much legwork it actually is.
They did it, so I'm not going to discredit them, but at the same time, I wonder, is it worth spending the amount that I don't know the figures, I'm sure you two don't, but is it worth that when you could? I watched the Las Vegas events. It was seemed good to me. ESPN, let's get it.
I think the point of Fight Island is to get the Volkanovski wouldn't be able to fight unless the whole point of Fight Island is to get the international fighters
makes sense.
Their chance. Volkanovski's here, and he's from Australia, and if you notice, that's why Israel Adesanya, although him and Costa, one guy will get surgery, but they said the whole thing with Fight Island was for these foreign champs to but I'm pretty sure Amanda Nunes fought at the Apex, right?
She did, but I think she fights out of Florida. I think she's fighting out of Florida.
Yeah, so I think Fight Island's for those international fighters.
All right, well then I guess, right? Risk reward, right? You want
Habib's going to be fighting at Fight Island. He's not going to be fighting in Vegas
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't. Speaking of Khabib, before we move on, I'm surprised they haven't thrown him. I mean, they're in his territory. Isn't that a little shocking to me?
Like for a fight.
Yeah, like you're in the Middle East. You defended. Who did he fight? Poirier. You defended.
Yeah,
Poirier.
he fought him in Abu Dhabi.
Let's get the king back on from home. Get him on home.
Yeah.
Territory.
Need the eagle bad.
Yeah. Well, I keep hearing this. And the timeline could be screwed up. You know, his dad just passed away.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. And then I don't know when Ramadan is, but he's strict, so he sticks to Ramadan. So I think they're gonna schedule a fight for him with Gaethje in maybe September. Whenever Ramadan ends, then they're gonna give him time to train, and then that's the reason why. The one thing I have to learn is when Ramadan is, but I just know that that's a big thing, and that's why McGregor got frustrated about. I don't know. He tweeted that he's retiring, but it's because there's kind of a holdup.
McGregor.
Okay, McGregor.
Yeah. I don't take him serious, but he wanted to. Like, I think Dana wants McGregor to wait for the Khabib fight. That's all he's been talking about and everything.
Yeah. Let's talk about that briefly. Let's talk about that real brief. I'm uninterested in that. To be
the McGregor Khabib.
I mean, I just watched Dustin Poirier. A 5-round
over here. So watch what you say.
What, you showed me the wall?
Yeah, I got McGregor hanging up over here. So
listen. No harm against McGregor, whether you two agree or disagree. But I just watched Dustin Poirier go in a 5-round war with Dan Hooker, who I would consider
amazing fight.
Dan Hooker, dog. Like that was a dog fight in general. And I watched Khabib walk into Abu Dhabi and hit him with the same thing he hit McGregor with. Like identical. Back choke. See you next time. So then I start questioning, are y'all really interested in a takedown to choke? That's just where I start thinking. Takedown to choke.
I'm not.
To choke.
I was talking to my brother about it, but yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I've known about Khabib since he's finally the champion. This guy's been this good forever. I mean, he was, whatever his record is, 29-0.
Yeah.
He could have been the champion 12 fights ago. I remember when he fought a guy, he fought RDA, Rafael dos Anjos, and RDA was the man at the time, and he did the same thing to him. And I actually thought RDA did a good job because I don't think he got finished. And he fought this guy named Pat Healy, who was really good at the time, did the same thing to him, did the same thing to Abel Trujillo or whatever. He did it to there's another guy. I'm forgetting his name. But anyway, this guy's been doing it. And yeah, Justin Gaethje looks like he's the world champion, and he looked unbelievable. I think he'd have a good fight with Conor McGregor. But I think the story's always the same with Khabib. He's going to take you down and smash you for 5 rounds unless you want to get out of there earlier. Like, he's only lost 1 round ever to Conor McGregor, which I don't really count. He stood with him, and it was a pretty even round. It could have went either way.
Yeah.
I don't look at – I mean, he technically lost, but I don't look at it as he didn't get beat in a round. He tied and maybe on the other guy.
So, hey, joining us now is our boy from New York City live, COVID Hub. Matt. How you doing tonight, bro?
Good, man. Just got off another Zoom call. Took a little longer than expected, but
no problem.
Glad
to have you. We're just right at that. We're just starting to talk about, we're about to get into these fights in a moment, but we really just been talking about the whole Fight Island vibe. Like, is it really necessary? But Dave made a great point. I didn't think it was necessary initially, but Dave said he's doing it for the international stars. As Americans, we forget about. Honestly, I forgot. I forgot about the dudes in Russia. The guys across the world. So made a valid point. So he basically was like, you want to see the world champions. You got to go to a place that's going to welcome you. So
and then Or yeah, go ahead, Sheldon. Sorry.
I mean, I kind of feel the same way. I honestly wasn't sure if it was necessary at all. But then you think about the climate of everything going on in the world, like with COVID, to have it in like a specific place like that, secluded, makes its own unique thing, and it appeals to like everybody else in the world. So,
Yeah. So again, like I said, I was thinking just America, but like you got to remember, the world wants to see these stars, so it makes perfect sense. And they're spending big dollars over there in the Middle East. So you want to host us, we'll take your money. You know?
absolutely.
And like Sheldon said, that's a unique idea. UFC is a unique organization, and I think it's great what they're doing.
Well, great. So we're about to time for pick'em. So first, we just want to discuss. Huge fan of DraftKings. Don't know about you guys, but huge fan of it. You can go from 1 penny to $1 million. Now, I don't think anyone in this Zoom's got $1 million to toss, but we got somewhere
Working on it.
We got somewhere in between there to come up. Not really a fan of FanDuel. Now, not to say I'm against it, but for me, the DraftKings is basic and simple, and it seems to be marketed the most, and I'm a fan of it. Do you guys?
It's the only one I can access down here in South Carolina, so I'm a DK guy now.
DK?
Did that come out first, or was FanDuel out first?
I think DK hit the market first. You know how it is. It's like
Yeah. Uber and Lyft.
Uber and Lyft. Most likely Uber came out first. Lyft followed suit. They'll give a discount on occasion. So I'd honestly argue you're gonna join a contest on DraftKings. It might be $10, but on FanDuel it's gonna be like $7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So same thing. You definitely have the ability to get paid, but different environments, definitely. Different setups, different everything. So last thing before we get into it, before we start picking, which we'll run right through these picks, we'll share a couple videos, we'll talk about the names, the big names. Dave, you've competed on an international scale as well as Shelton. Does the starting time has an effect? So UFC 251 will begin at 6 a.m. Abu Dhabi time, 10 p.m. American time, Eastern Standard Time. But with being there for an entire week, do you get used to the new time, or are you rolling from the same scale as if you were in Florida or New York or Michigan?
Yeah. So I've never had a problem with it. I imagine that it's definitely a factor. A lot of times I've gone overseas, and because since wrestling and fighting is the same thing,
Yeah.
you get there and you're just stressed out. You're worried about the competition in some capacity. Maybe not worried, but you're worked up because you're going to compete. You got to cut weight, and these UFC fighters cut a lot of weight. Even if you sleep on the plane, so the travel is very tough on your body. And for example, for me, I always swell up on the plane. Like I always gain weight and I swell up. So usually I have a little more work to do right when I get off the plane. So, I mean, I think it's definitely a factor, but for me, it just never seemed to matter. Like, I think these guys are tough. And I think, especially because fighting's such an adrenaline thing, I think that, it's not something to bet your cards on, but I think it is. I bet you we'll see some people are affected by it. It's definitely a factor. And especially if we're talking let's say somebody is used to that climate. I mean, we could use some examples, but let's say if you went to Abu Dhabi, let's say you were from Abu Dhabi and you stayed there, and I came in from Michigan and I came and fought you. Whoever wins the fight is one thing, but you'll have an advantage. Going to that kind of environment, you do need that week to adjust, and you can adjust and everything can go well, but you definitely feel it, and definitely after the competition, you definitely feel it.
Yep.
Maybe that. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Everything Dave said was the truth. It's like
spot on, huh? All right, well, let's get right into it. Now, let's just take a glimpse, and then we'll fire right into it.
Oh boy.
Boom.
Best knockout I've ever seen. I was kind of upset, but Yeah. Respect,
UFC
man.
251 headline, 6-day notice. Usman Masvidal. This is crazy. First of all, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Let's go around the horn. We'll start out with Dave, followed by Zach. Shout. Who we going with?
I'm going with Usman. I'm a big fan of Masvidal. I mean, he's capable of doing that. He's capable of hitting a flying knee or just a lot of good strikes. Honestly, I think that this fight's just like Conor and Khabib. I think Usman's like the real deal. I think he's pretty much. I don't think he's as good as Khabib, like dominance, but I pretty much think the welterweight's stacked. But I think Usman's the top guy, and he's very good on his feet. So, the big thing with Masvidal Askren was, Masvidal is so much better of a striker, but Usman's very solid on his feet, and he's so good at wrestling, and he's so big and strong, and he seems to do that weight cut right. I mean, we saw him in his next fight go for 5 rounds, and it looked like nothing. War. So that's my input. I think Masvidal is awesome, but I just think Usman's just the dog right now.
Ooh, I like that. Lubin, what are you thinking up there?
All right, mine's going to be a little short and sweet. I have a lot of respect for Usman, the Nigerian nightmare. He's a big problem. He is a huge problem in that weight class. But Masvidal is going to baptize him Saturday night.
Hey, that is a
40. You might want to get on that train.
Baptize. Well, hey, just a little, just a note. I seen this earlier. I believe Zach actually sent it to me. I got an invitation. You are invited to the baptism of Kamara Usman. When you see this stuff on the internet, you start getting, well, that's what he said he does. That's what he said he does to people. Shouting, shaking his head down there. Let's hear his thing.
Masvidal baptizing Usman is going to be a tedious task. Usman has the cardio. He has the wrestling skills. Masvidal is obviously dangerous. I mean, we saw that knockout with Ben. So, I mean, I just got to go with the skill over the knockout punch. So.
Skill over the knockout. I respect that, and I'll end it with. I don't know if you guys saw what I saw, but I watched both 25-minute interviews of Masvidal and Usman. Seemed like to me one of the guys was a little bit shook of the 6 days, and the other guy looked like he was ready to get on a plane. So speaking about that, I'm going to go with the game bread by KO at some point in the fight. There's 5 rounds to finish every one of them. That's my hot take. Hot take KO game bread.
These short notice fights, they're unpredictable because that makes sense that Usman would be flustered, but then you'd also think that he has the advantage because he was getting ready for the fight and Masvidal got the late notice.
All right, yeah. Not to retract my statement or anything. Masvidal's coach being out's a huge factor. But
yeah.
Hey, but I watched a guy named Platinum Perry last week. Dave will probably get a gift for that. He didn't need no coach to go. From what I saw, I don't know if y'all saw that, but I didn't see the coach.
So, what was that? His girlfriend and his fiance?
His girlfriend and the cut man. And he went out there and handled business. So,
I loved it.
If you really are a guy who handles your business, maybe the coach doesn't need to necessarily be there. If the coach is upstairs, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's definitely a fight. Like, you are the only one out there.
Yeah.
Other perspective of what's going on from like a.
Agreed. So, quick co-main event: Holloway, Volkanovski. We'll watch a quick highlight. This, if you guys recall, was a brawl. A strength guy versus a length. He tags him there. He marches forward. In my opinion, it was a 5-round brawl. I think Holloway could sniff the title. He could sniff it in every round, but he wasn't strong enough. That was my key to the fight. He was not strong enough to overpower the short rugby. Allegedly, this guy used to weigh 240 pounds. You know that, right?
Yeah.
This rugby guy, he's 5'5", 240. So now you got him at 5'5", 245. He's the champ. He's getting a rematch. I just don't see how Max can take it back. I just don't. I respect him. He's in the cage. I'm going with correction. Look, hot take. I'm going with Alexander here. Probably a 5-round brawl again, but a dominant fashion. 4-1, 5-0. I'm going with Volkanovski.
Who goes next?
Anyone? Go ahead since you're up.
Okay. This one's tough. I can see it going either way, and I agree with a lot of what you said. I think you can expect somewhat of a different fight. You know, a big thing was the leg kicks with Volkanovski. That guy game plans really well. I'd have to put my money on Volkanovski because, honestly, if you watch all of his fights, I mean, there's not much evidence of him losing. Like, he fought Aldo. He fought Chad Mendes. He took the title from Max Holloway, and he's looked pretty flawless in all of those fights. And even some people say that Holloway may have won that first fight, but it just didn't look like it. If Holloway would have won that fight, it would have been weird because Volkanovski landed a lot more strikes, and he controlled the whole fight. So, you know, it's hard to see it really changing that much. I agree. I think it'll be a 5-round brawl. I think Volkanovski I think he's got more strength, and he's going to have even though Max Holloway has a good output, I think that this Volkanovski guy is pretty special.
So we got two for
Volkanovski.
Yeah.
I got Holloway. I understand, you know, what happened in the past, but at the end of the day, if you get something taken away from you, you're hungry and you want it back.
So what are you saying there?
Holloway.
He's saying that's simple.
Whoa.
Yep.
All right.
That's
That
fair.
one's tough. I like Holloway too, but on my money, can't pick him.
I respect what Shelton says. Like a lot of people love Holloway for the fact he's a stand up and bang type of guy.
Yes.
But I agree with a lot of what Casey said. Alexander, this is probably the biggest no brainer for me on the whole card. Gotta go Alexander for sure.
Yeah, gotta go. And that's nothing against Max. Dog, actually. I'll put him up there with the junkyards of the sport. But sometimes it's a little bit of skill and a little bit of power. I mean, we all wrestled. It goes a long ways. Sometimes you're just that much behind the guy. Just that much. And there's always that guy that you just can't get. And I think for Max, if you got a little bit of skill, you're a little too strong, I just don't see it. That's just me.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's hard because Max Holloway, I would say, is my favorite fighter, like in the UFC. I love him. And that's how I know, too, when I'm looking at the fight. He's my favorite fighter, and if I really think he was going to win, I would say it. But when I can't say it, it just means I don't want him to lose, but I think he's going to.
Yeah.
Cool. So we got that. So we'll move on. Look, Jan Faber. Just watch this. Just take a look.
Insane.
Just take a look at that.
Insane.
This is a guy who, in my opinion, will flatline people in the near future. I think with the strength at that weight, what is that, 135? I think he's the guy who will be able to put people away. But then we have to remember who his opponent is. UFC GOAT in some eyes, Brazilian GOAT in many eyes, Jose Aldo coming down to 35 for a title fight against Peter Yan. You know, our boy Cejudo drops the belts with no fans in the stands. Not sure how I feel about it, but you know what? In the world we live in, life truly goes on. So big opportunity for the two out there. Aldo, Yan, both on a mission, obviously. Aldo to get back on top, Yan to solidify what he believes is already his. What do you guys think? We'll start with Zach.
All right, so I think Jose has not been the same since he got, KO'd in 14 seconds by McGregor.
I'd argue that might change your life, to be blunt.
Yeah, that's a life-changing event in my eyes. I mean, he got embarrassed in front of a huge crowd. This
Yeah.
isn't in front of a big crowd. I've got Jan all day.
Jan all day, Lube. And Shelton, let's hear it.
I'm going with Jan too. Dropping down a weight class, coming off some L's.
Hungry.
It's hard to battle back for sure. Obviously, he's a veteran. We know what he has to bring to the table. We know what he can offer, but I don't know. I just don't got a good feeling about it.
Jan, habit.
You know what? Yeah, I got to go with Jan, but I got to say in defense of Aldo, he lost to Conor McGregor, super good. He lost to Max Holloway twice in good fights, but who's also fighting for the belt at the next weight class up. And he lost to Volkanovski. So those are – then he dropped down to 135 and fought Marlon Rice. Yeah, and he lost, but, like, technically he lost. So it was a great fight. So
Taking L's, man. 5 L's will do something to you.
Interesting.
but
resume.
his losses are all like they're all good losses.
Good
if that
losses.
makes sense.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
good
To
losses.
the best guys
But yeah.
in the world. But again, it's not about those losses. It's about you get the title shot, can you get it done? Can you
You know what I think a factor is, and it's exactly what it's what Shelton said. But what I think is actually going to be a factor is that if this fight goes 5 rounds, I think Jan can definitely knock him out. But if he doesn't, I think it'll go 5 rounds. It'll go into later rounds because I don't think Aldo's going to put him out. And I think Jan's going to win.
got it? And I'm gonna wrap
Pretty easy one.
with Jan flatlines. Flatlines Auto in 1 through 3. Somebody's gonna be getting a paycheck. That's my personal opinion.
Flatline.
You're predicting a bonus.
Bonus. Flat.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1 through 3. I'm not gonna predict the round, but 1 through 3. The weight cut will be a factor for Auto. He claims it's a better cut. I'm seeing a guy who's hungry for the title. Petra, Jan, flatline for the title, UFC Fight Island.
I think that's going to be a great fight.
Yeah.
Take a minute and take a look at this.
Oh, boy.
Just take a look at this.
Broke my heart.
Just take a look at this.
Oh,
On
Yeah.
ouch.
I love you.
Now, I'm going to take this one if y'all don't mind.
You got it.
First of all, I would argue, and I was talking with this Dave offline. Personally, Rose might be one of my top 3 fighters. That sounds crazy to argue, but that L, what we just saw in video, is not equivalent to the person that was fighting the prior 7 minutes. Now, again, it's the sport. Anything can happen. Don't leave it to the judges. But if you watch that fight, see that there are literally levels to this fight game, as we all know. For 7 minutes, Rose was literally out there like Muhammad Ali versus a high schooler, in my opinion. Jab, jab, right. Jab, jab, circle. Can't touch me. She got in a situation where she probably should have bailed, right? We all wrestled. Bail. Give up the 2. Give up the 2. She didn't bail. She got landed on her neck. Fight over. But if we want to say, is Andrade better? Is Andrade the champ? In my opinion, no. I saw an unfortunate situation matched with a little bit of ego. And I don't know if you guys follow Rose closely as I do, but she said she was dealing with some life problems. Her ego was telling her she's not the champ. You got all that stuff haunting you.
Yeah.
You take a break. You come back. I watched the video. She said, I have to finish her to get back to where I want to be. And I think without the slam, Rose either puts her away like she did Joanna. I don't know if y'all remember Joanna won, but when she buried her and shocked the world, I think Andrade is in for a serious problem this weekend with Rose, Thug Rose. Look, you don't get the name Thug. You don't get with Thug with the buzzed head if you don't plan on putting someone away. So I'm going Thug Rose this weekend.
I'm with you on that one. I'm going Thug Rose. Hasn't fought since everything happened. Had to take some time. Had to reevaluate. Going on a little hiatus, but I mean, she was clearly stunned in that fight after being the dictator for 7 minutes. So I'm with you on those.
Thug Rose. Dave?
Yeah, I mean, this is my lock on the whole card. I mean, if you did watch the first fight, that's probably the best she's ever looked. She destroyed Andrade, and honestly, it just came down to a bad position, and that's all it really was. I mean, she pieced her up, and I give credit to Jessica because she had heart and she stayed in it and found a way to win. But I think she's going to get pieced up, and that's my lock for this whole card.
Mortal.
Rose.
So that's your mortal
I'm
lock for the card?
I'm pretty much already thinking Rose versus Whaley. I think Rose.
The title.
Yes, that's the fight, and Rose is that's the fight. So Rose does her job. I think she walks away with the victory.
Lubin, you want to wrap this one up?
Yeah, I got to go with Rose as well. I mean, she's got that mean mug. The hype's behind her. She's got her ego back, like you said, and it's Rose all day. Mortal lock.
Great. And our last marquee event, Rivas versus Van Zandt. Now, if you look at the odds here, we have Rivas as a minus 950 favorite over Paige. That's a big odd there. It's a payday if you're going Paige, and I'd stay away from Rivas if you're looking for money. So I seen an interview, I believe maybe a week ago, where Paige was talking about, I make more money from my Instagram post, but this fight I'm back, my mind's right, and I've shoved everything to the side to get back to business. But then you watch a girl like Rivas, flyweight dog, versus Paige, good fighter, has a little clout from the internet. But when you take an internet clout and you put them up against a dog, sometimes bad things happen inside a cage. And I wish nothing against Paige, but I got to go with Ribas, Fight Island, main card opener. Ribas, women handles Paige, probably puts her away. That's what I'm going with, personally.
Yep, I'm with you on Ribas. Internet clout goes a long way. Like, you get caught up in modeling, get caught up in Dancing with the Stars. You take some L's, and it's hard to bounce back from, especially when you have someone who's hungry.
Yeah, and it's not like she's the featured lady,
Yeah, exactly. I just don't think that she's as good as Rivas is in any position. So,
I agree with Shelton there. She's not as good as Rivas, but I will put this little X factor in there. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of money on Van Zandt since it's +5.
Why not? Yeah.
So you're saying here, like Dave used a bold word talking about Rose. So you're saying the second steal, mortal lock, is Paige Van Zandt for a steal.
I think there's a lot of steals on this card. I think that if you take all of the underdogs on the main card, you could make profit if you hit 1 out of 3.
No, that's
true.
Ruben's exactly right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tag you as Rebus for personal opinion, but
I'll take that.
As far as a mortal, you might want to consider Paige. Fair. So we're gonna do now we're just gonna do a hot take.
I get to go.
2 athletes.
Yeah, you skip Dave.
That's okay. Just real quick. The one thing I'll say is I think what I think you need to know as a bettor on this fight and everything is Rivas is the real deal, and Paige Van Zandt is on her last fight in the UFC and is talking about going over to Bellator. And when they match these fighters up, a lot of times, like we all know, like we just were talking about, everybody knows who Paige Van Zandt is. She's big on Instagram. She's got a lot of clout. They're using her as a GOAT for Ribas. And this fight reminds me of when Rose Namajunas fight Paige Van Zandt. So, yeah, it's pretty hard not to pick Ribas. I think that this fight's to showcase who she is. So,
yeah, they're using her. They're using her.
Kind of like, but Paige Van Zandt, make no mistake, can fight. But
no mistake.
They're trying to use her clout to get this girl to the top.
Bringing a dog to the cage.
They're bringing a dog. Yep.
Road that some people aren't ready to step into, because they're going to step into that cage on Saturday.
I think that Van Zandt's got to go against Ribas and Dana White here. Dana's trying to push her out after what he's been putting her through, but
Well,
That's why I'm putting a little money on her.
when you have weight over your shoulders, and I heard her clear as day said she made more money elsewhere than she has in her entire UFC career.
True.
And they're saying she's going to go to Bellator.
I'm not going to say I'm in her head, but you
I didn't know that.
thinking, is this where I want to be? And when you're thinking, is this where I want to be? That's a junkyard. That might not be that might not.
Yeah, because all Rebus is thinking about is I want that belt. That's a factor.
If you can make more money taking pictures than you can getting punched,
I'd stay out of the cage.
Yeah.
I'd stay out of the cage. All right, so look, we're gonna go to a little bit of a rapid fire just so that we can get actual DraftKings picks momentarily. So basically, I'm gonna read them off. I'm gonna read the underdog second, followed by the underdog, the favorite, followed by the underdog. We're just going to go rapid. You're just going to say who you pick. I'm going to document it, and we're going to move to the next. No real input here, just who do you got, and let's move on. So we'll start it right off at the first fight. Martin Day, favorite over Davy Grant. We'll start with Lubin, followed by Shelton.
Day.
Lubin. Day. Shelton.
Martin Day.
Day. Habit.
Day.
And Casey, I'm going to go Day. We'll go next. Vanessa Mello. Sorry about that. Favorite first. Carol Rosa versus Vanessa Mello. I don't know much about them.
Who's a favorite there?
Favorite there is Rosa, minus 215.
Not a lot.
I still got to go Rosa. Favorite on that one. I don't
think
know
that's
much.
who I picked. I think that's who I picked. I'm gonna watch them before Saturday, but I think that's who I got for now.
Lubin goes Rosa. Shelton.
Rosa taking the favorite.
Taking the favorite. I'm going to also take the favorite there. Rosa. We'll move up. Now, I haven't seen this guy fight, but I've heard the name. I don't want to mess this up, but Pava versus Nurmagomedov. Favorites Pava at minus 190. Don't know much about Nurmagomedov other than he's taking the fight. He's in the Middle East. He's ready to prove some of us that don't know him wrong. So I'm actually going to roll with him. I'm going to roll with the hometown guy.
Yeah, I also think I'd pick this differently on the pick'em, but I'm going to go with that guy. I can't pronounce his last name, but same as Casey here. I think it was different on the pick'ems, but going with him.
Nurmagomedov.
Yeah. It's a close betting odd. I don't see the harm. Underdogs win. That's the reality of the game.
Underdogs.
Here's my rule of thumb, and it's a good one. But when they have a Muslim Russian name like that, go with them, especially if you don't know. And there's a lot of Russians on this card, and they're tough. I feel like that they're guys that they're little villages that they're at. They're like, put him in the UFC. He's ready. I'm serious. So
Khabib vows for him.
I'm confident that Nurmagomedov's gonna win.
I
don't know who he is, but I know that he probably trained with Zabit and Habib, and they're like, you need to put this guy in the UFC now. So
now,
I'm definitely not confident, but I like Nurmagomedov. He reminds me of like a Dagestani wrestler type.
Yeah,
like that.
Like Dave said.
So we got
we'll
4
go
underdogs
next.
there.
We have an even odds, so we have basically a draw here at minus 110. So stay away from this one, folks. You're not gonna get any type of fun, so stay away. Marcin Tybura versus Alexander Romanov. Like Dave said, go with the Russian name, so I'm taking Romanov.
I'm going opposite.
Lubin's going opposite.
I'm going Romanov.
I'm going Romanov.
Shelton goes Romanov, and Dave follows suit. All right. Lightweight battle at minus 198 favorite. Leonardo Santos versus Ramon Bogatov. Unfortunately, when they take these cards overseas, we kind of lose track. We're going to do a little bit more homework as we get closer, be checking the Twitter, which we'll have at the end. But, don't know much about these guys other than we got two guys trying to get inside the cage, make a name known. So again, I'm gonna go with Bogatov here. Know nothing about him other than I'm taking a risk.
I got to look into Bogatov, but that Leonardo Santos is actually really good. If you look at his fight history, I don't think he's lost in a while, and he beat Kevin Lee. So this guy is actually really good.
Oh,
And he's actually
that's good info to have.
yeah. I have some other info, and I won't go on long spiels, but this guy's also like a world champ jiu-jitsu. He's like Abu Dhabi world champ, I'm pretty sure. So
you're throwing out hot takes out there that makes so
Santos.
Yes, Santos. So
this
is the first. I gotta look into Bogatov. Why the betting lines are even that close? Because Santos, if you look at his record and who he's fought and everything, this guy's a dog. So that's a really good fight, and I'm pretty confident in Santos, but I don't know who Bogatov is.
I'll go Santo and Lubin.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Bogatov. Dave's comments concerned me about my pick, but I gotta stick with my guns here.
Hey, sometimes that's just the way she goes. We got about.
Oh man, hey, can I read this off real quick?
What you say?
3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. 11. He's on like an 11 or 12 fight winning streak.
Who's
and
this?
He didn't get Santos.
Whoa.
He's on like a 12 fight winning streak, and he didn't get first at the World Championships. He got second and third. So I mean, he's very high level. You know, a lot of these guys.
We just don't know him, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but he beat Kevin Lee. I mean, he's not a small name guy, but anyway. But
Right.
we gotta figure out who Bogatov is. We gotta figure out.
We'll
who that
look
guy
him
is.
up. We'll get back.
Yeah.
We'll get back to people here.
I like him.
We got Armakani. Sorry if I messed you up. Hopefully I can look you up. Versus Danny Henry. The favorite is -210. I did a little bit of research into this Henry guy. Not much, but looks like a killer to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Henry. Sometimes you just gotta take the underdogs here. That's just the world. One right puts people to bed, specifically in this sport. So I'm going with the underdog, Henry.
I'm going complete opposite here. I think Henry gets slept in the first round.
You're going mortal there.
Not going mortal on the KO, but he's losing.
Elton?
I'm going Henry. He got slept early in his last fight, but
So he's hungry.
he's hungry.
KO. He's getting
Dave.
KO'd.
I'm gonna go. I'm Amir Khani. Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
I'm very familiar with that guy. I've watched like all of his fights. He's good, but I'm gonna look into Henry, and if he's a real dog, if he's dog enough, this Amir Khani guy's a real good fighter, but depends on how good Henry is. But I'm gonna go with Amir. I feel like he's a very solid fighter, Amir Khani, so that's what I got.
Fair. So now we got Dos Santos at welterweight -110. Oh, it's also another. It's another equal betting odds. -110 for each. Dos Santos versus Muslim Salkolov. I have an asterisk beside his name. I think I watched a video of him baptizing somebody, and it's kind of, that's my guy. So I'm going with Muslim.
Yeah.
I'm
Let me
also
go-
going with Muslim.
Yep.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the other fight. I know we want to make these quick, but just kind of like the rule of thumb, like I said, this guy's from Dagestan.
Which is a
And
factor.
he
They
has-
train a
this-
little bit different.
This is important to know, though, guys. He's got a kickboxing record. Okay, this is according to Wikipedia, but I believe it. He has 199 fights in kickboxing, and he's 185-13. And in MMA, he's 16-2, and he's won several world championships in kickboxing. Like,
So again, folks
like
out there,
5. So
James
to me,
bringing the
this is
facts here, and if you got touching 200 fights, you might be the guy.
Yeah.
This
Elton's
is the
got that
guy,
look.
and the other guy is, by the way, the other guy is also a striker. He doesn't appear to have that kind of background. I feel like this guy, whatever his name is, I apologize. Salikov, Muslim Salikov, I think that they're trying to promote this guy. I think he's the real deal. He'd be my number one lock, but Rose is.
Yeah, I got Muslim Salikov too. His nickname is
Going Salikov. And last but not least on the under is a minus 160 favorite Volkan Ozdemir versus Jiri Prochazka. Again, Dave, you want to take this one?
I'm gonna go with Ozdemir. You know what? He was on fire for a long time. He got to fight DC. DC's on another level.
Yeah.
And then he went on like a fight skid. But if you look into it, he lost to Anthony Smith next, who's obviously really good, and he fought for the belt. And then he lost a split decision fight to Dominic Reyes.
So he's fought the best guys.
He's fought the best guys, and he's looked good, and he's looked good overall in all of them. I mean, DC really put it on. But yeah, I think Ozdemir is definitely going to win. He's got. If your name's not DC or a couple of these other guys, I think Ozdemir is definitely going to win.
Based off habits knowledge, I'm going to have to just go ahead and take him. I'm taking him.
Yeah, I don't know the other guy, so I'm also in.
Sheldon, what's your eye saying?
I'm taking the other guy.
Oh, Sheldon's going to hot take again. Plus,
somebody's got to
the
do
underdog.
I'm taking the underdog.
That's fair. All right, so the final segment of the night show will feature a draft lineup. Privilege of this group, the foursome. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen real quick. We'll come over to the DraftKings app. I advise all to use this. It is the most efficient. This weekend's hot take is the 2.25 million, the Island Millionaire, 1 million to first, $25 entry. Obviously, there are multiple other contests, but this is the featured contest for Fight Island. I advise at least throwing one in there. Right now, we'll do a quick rundown with my squad. We have $50,000 of DraftKings money, not real money, obviously.
So it's $25 to get in, Casey.
$25 entry, payouts $1 million to first. Give me a second. I'll confirm the full payout structure. 1 million to first. Big jump though. 100,000 to second, 50 to third, 20 to fourth, 15 to fifth, 10 to sixth, 7,000 for seventh and eighth, 5,000 for ninth and 10th, and just below 3,000 up until the 20th thousandth patron. So 20th thousand gets a minimum of $40. So, if you can get in there, hey, what's 40 to 25? But what's a million to 25 is the bigger question there.
Yeah, I could use 5K. I got
Take a
shit
look.
to do.
So again, reminder, we have $50,000 to pick the best roster that includes KOs, most dominant. Again, if you pick someone that loses, your roster's basically done. Let's make sure we confirm that. So we want to pick the people who we really think's going to win on top of
dominant fashion,
which is, I would argue, the most important. Because if you win a 3-round brawl and you landed 50 strikes, it's not really going to help you. So I think we should start right at the top. And you guys can see my screen, right? I think Dave marked Rose as a mortal beatdown lock. So I think we have to throw her in there at 9,000.
I like it.
Yeah, very comfortable with that.
We'll just go around. So we'll just go around, and then we'll let everyone pick one from their favorites, and then the last couple we'll do as a group. So Dave, you want to pick? I picked Rose as my mortal lock based off of your decision. Would you like to pick your next person?
I'm gonna go with Salikov. You go down a little bit more.
Okay.
There he is, number 7 or whatever.
Salikov at 8,200. He is marked for Dave Habit's pick, and we will throw him in there. Bam.
I'm gonna go with
salary
Divas.
32,000. Now keep in mind we cannot go over And don't sleep on some of the underdogs that
How
were.
much do we have left right now?
We have 32,000.
Okay, and we got to pick 5 or 6 fighters.
I'm going with Reboss.
Shelton goes with Rebus.
Man, that's going to cost a lot of money.
No, it's a good one.
I got
Is it?
I got a pricey one in mind.
Let's see. Rebus is at a 9,500. So
Yeah, it's a good one, but she just costs a lot.
Rebus
So
is actually
favorited.
the most expensive fighter on the card. So they're thinking dominant from her.
We can take her, but then we got to really compromise then after that.
We need
Yeah,
the
I agree.
Instagram. We need the Instagram girl to get KO'd.
I
Yeah.
say there's nothing
It's worth
wrong with
it.
taking a look at this undercard again and reminding ourselves that, some of these undercards are looking for paydays. And they're going to go out there and
Yeah, this is on the fly.
Yeah, like the King of Kung Fu. Did you already take Silikov? You said to have it?
Yeah.
Yep, he took Silikov early. Lubin, you get a pick. Hold on, I'm trying to make the screen a little.
All right, scroll up a little bit.
So at the top is obviously, I think it just goes by who they're fighting.
Yeah, this is going to be expensive.
So
but
if we scroll to the bottom, let's scroll to the bottom. This is the undercard here.
Yeah, for somebody if there's somebody that you're pretty confident in.
Yeah, let's
bottom,
look at your
don't you?
picks.
I mean,
I'm gonna
Martin
go back-
Day, I feel like I'm confident in, but Alexander, I feel like he's going to tantalize Holloway for 5 rounds or knock him out. So
Alexander is 9,000. So again, be cautious of our price, which we might not be able to fit him in, but we'll throw him in. And
all
that
right, 1
leaves us
second.
with- so if we throw him in, we have 7,000-ish.
You know what annoys me about fantasy drafts? Not annoys me because it's good that they do this, but it's like, all right, we clearly have a good roster here, but we can't afford it.
Agreed.
We know the fights we're picking, we know.
So again, I would argue, Lubin, let's be cautious on the main card because we can't afford everybody.
If we have to pull it out, we can. Let's just go with Martin Day for now.
Let's leave it for last, and then if we have enough money, we'll do that one since you picked it.
Okay.
So you want Martin Day or Volkanovski?
Let's stick with Martin Day for now.
Okay, perfect. So that leaves us with 1480. Now let me look at our underdogs here. We have an overwhelming underdog at Zuma. How do you say his name, Dave?
Galov.
Oh yeah. He's an underdog.
Let's look at where he says he's an underdog. And if we look, right, he's an underdog at 7,500, which actually fits perfect if we go with him.
Not much travel. I say take him.
And who's the guy you said has the kickboxing record?
We already have him. It's Silikov.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But again, so you're going with him as the Russian Dagestani. Don't sleep on him.
We can't
Yeah.
I like Shelton's pick. Shelton's pick is expensive, but we gotta stick with it.
I agree.
For me, for that like okay, those 3 fights we have, I feel like are serious locks. Those are mortal locks right there. Like I want to keep them.
I would agree.
Rebus is gonna whoop her. So might be
according to our
beatdown.
amounts, right? We got 7,300 left. So, based on our statistics,
Aldo and Jan.
Jorge at the top, leading the charge. He'd be our last, fingers crossed. We can go with Max, but do we think he can beat him? I don't. We can go with Paige, which obviously we can't because she's fighting Rebus, or we can go with Aldo, which are 3 big underdogs that I personally wouldn't mind putting in Masvidal for a sleeper.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. So sorry. I was
Wait,
on the
we
right
have
side of the screen.
enough for Masvidal
for
right now?
73. Masvidal for 7,300. First of all, you picked him. Half of us picked Masvidal, right? It was me and
It was 2 and 2.
me and Shelton.
2 and 2.
Yeah, it was 2 and 2. We got to pick that one.
All right. Well, let's
We gotta.
Need to see a baptism. Need to see it.
The two of you think Usman's getting baptized. How can we not pick that one?
Sometimes you got to get baptized, my brother.
Man, that's a good one. And even Aldo, I'll tell you what, I don't know if Aldo could really win, but Masvidal has a chance.
All right. So hey, we'll conclude it there then. Our DraftKings lock roster of the week:
That was quick.
Rose,
Mm-hmm.
Salikov, Ribas, Day, Zamagulov, and Masvidal game bread some form of funds. Hopefully the million.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
That looks like a really good lineup. A unique one too.
But as
And
we
we spent
know
every
in this
penny.
sport, really good lineups end up being shaking your head for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So hey,
I'll never forget. I
I'm
parlayed
actually
a
all
bet.
in on that.
I'm all in.
I parlayed a bet and it went pretty well, but the problem was like the first fight that I bet was the guy who first beat Aaron Pico. You know, I thought it was an
About that
upset. But I go, hey,
knockout.
this guy, this guy's got to be pretty good. His next fight, he got like knocked out in 30 seconds. So the whole thing was over. I won I might have missed one other fight in that whole thing, but I picked a lot of fights and it all went well, but that one hurt. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And for him to get knocked out so quickly.
Yeah.
These DraftKings lineups can be devastating.
Yeah, they can definitely be devastating. But hey, Fight Island, UFC 251, Usman versus Masvidal. Thank you for tuning in. Good luck with your rosters. Tune into our Twitter at the Foursome, at
Forecast one.
not Foursome, at the Forecast One.
Number one.
Freudian slip there. At the Forecast One on Twitter as well as YouTube. You will see this live content. And thanks for joining me, my man. We'll see you next time.
Till next time.
See ya.